Hey, Toby. So today we're going to do the Gansamacher Publishing Pulp Fiction Jam. And the idea here is the Gansamacher agency, as you know, is always very clever and innovative in the ways in which it makes money. And it also...
Those are words.
and they publish...
I don't think can be applied to Gansamacher, but that's fine, yes.
Okay, well, they publish Pulp Fiction,
among
other things.
Desperate and clawing. Those are two words
well, I think,
you definitely like Gansamacher.
Well, that won't be distinctive in the near future because we're all going to be desperate and clawing when the global depression comes. We are, again, the beleaguered writer's room who has to make this all work. And the way the Gansamacher Publishing Agency tends to operate is they love to rework anything that they can so that nothing is wasted. When they publish these Pulp Fiction, they use four-color process to get beautiful colors on the cover, and then of course they use crappy sort of black and white, really cheap paper in between. But what they do is they sometimes have dead space when they lay out the covers for the four-color process, and they can't have dead space, so they produce covers of some kind, and then they give us the covers, and we have to write novels to them.
Got it.
But we've got to sort of come up first with the concept. So we're going to do something where we come up with a title, a tagline, and a log line for these publishing efforts. And just to give an example of what we mean, these are some stuff from the past where you see the title, very prominent. You see the kind of lurid artwork. And in the case of the taglines, they could be these little things I've circled here. They're little something punchy to kind of draw you in. And then in terms of log line, usually this is a blurb on the inside cover, but sometimes if it's short, it might go on the jacket itself. Mm-hmm. And so we're going to kind of come up with that type of thing. It's sort of like a poster for a book. So in the first exercise here, the situation is that we're just going to kind of limber up with a kind of reframing process. When I reveal what's behind the numbered rectangles, it's going to look familiar. It's going to look like something you've seen before, but don't do that. You've got to blank out your mind as if you've never seen this thing before, because the truth is, in copyright terms, anyone can reuse a title. A title isn't really that copyrightable. It's all about the story that's told. So you might see a title that you recognize, but we're going to write a new story to the title because a good title is a good title, right? So that's the Gansamacher way, waste not, want not. So I'm going to start a timer, and we're basically going to kick around sort of what is this book about, and trying to move away from what it sparks in us initially because it's going to look familiar. So I'm going to try to give us 3 minutes. Let's see how that gets on to sort of to kick this around, and I'm going to reveal the first one, and that's what it is. We've got a title there, so we know it's kind of ex machina. This is the title that obviously we're in this case we're gonna use. And what is this about? What is this thing about? It's clearly a kind of woman who's a machine. It looks like she's sort of face shopping or something. Is she a robot or is she human with cyborgian? So we could wonder about that. But maybe she seems to like the one that she's looking at. Maybe
or still some feelings for it. It could be memory being jogged.
That this is who I was once upon a time.
Yep.
Who I was before.
Which would go with your face shopping.
Yep. Oh, I see. Right. It's like I was my ex. Oh, that's kind of interesting. I was my ex before. So
that's a great pulp thing.
That's as a title or something. Ex machina.
Yeah,
and
I was my ex.
I was my ex.
I was my own ex.
I was.
Sorry, that's my cat jumping into a big cardboard box.
I was my own ex before. I don't know the before. I don't know this. We can work on that, but. That's interesting. I was my own ex. Maybe I shouldn't commit just yet. That's a bit.
No. It was just an interesting thing.
Yeah, because I was my ex. I like that. That's sort of an interesting possibility. Kind of wondering too if how we have this sort of body dysmorphia issues with the teens and whatnot. maybe robots get this too, where they're like, oh, I don't really like my face, I don't like my body, and they can kind of swap in and out.
I mean, it could be another robot that's been disassembled, and that's all that's left of them.
The remainders of the day. Okay. Okay, that's another title possibility. Let's see. Off the Shelf. I don't know. We have a title already, but I can't help but do things like that. So, I mean, we could change the title, but Gansamacher likes us to kind of use titles that people sort of think they've heard before, because it helps with the brand, sort of with the marketing, more cost effective. Ex Machina. I mean, what is Deus Ex Machina? This is the God like swoops in and sort of changes everything, saves the day.
Yes, but literally it means God from the machine. Deus Ex Machina means God from the machine, and it was the stage machinery that they would always have at the end of a Greek play, by which a god could then be sort of either roped down from the heavens or made to appear with smoke and thunder or all that sort of stuff.
Okay, so this is okay, so all right. I don't know quite what to do to that, but since we've run out of time, I'm thinking that maybe our tagline here is it was my ex or I was my own beloved or something. Could that sort of that's too flowery?
Well, because it's not that. The X sort of modernizes it, doesn't it, and makes it.
See. All right. Remainders.
I became my ex.
Remainders of the day. All right. I feel like what can we do now that we kind of given ourselves time to do that? What should the tagline of this thing be? Do you think something about the ex? I was my ex before. My ex was me.
Something about. What is it called when you dump someone to go for someone better? Isn't there like
grass is greener type of thing, or
kind of? And there's kind of a thing, like changing up, or.
Oh, I see.
There's a thing about that, and I'm just wondering if there's a way of upgrading a relationship.
Like the changing up. That's kind of.
I made my beloved. I mean, it's sort of a Bride of Frankenstein, isn't it? Except the bride's created first.
Oh, I see. So this is the groom of Frankenstein.
Sorry, I'm still going to. I should be stopping. Stop. Sorry.
You've got a cat edition.
I do. Yes, I'm afraid I do.
So actually, then you were talking about Deus Ex Machina. That's God, and then Ex Machina is from machine. So from machine. So from machine. This is very tender. This kind of
out of the machine. It can be
out of the machine, and into something else. What would it be?
Well, it could be return to skin, return to the flesh.
Out of the machine into me. Return of the flesh. The flesh doesn't lie. I know. The flesh never lies. Oh, what is
downgrading.
Changing up, downgrading.
Right, the Pinocchio effect of the robot that wants to be a person, even though people are far weaker. And
yeah, actually, this would be the reverse. What the reverse Pinocchio is, you want to become a machine. So this is human beings slowly machinating themselves from the machine. Oh, that's interesting. So you keep replacing. This is like plastic surgery down a slippery slope. You kind of do a little bit of this, you do a little lips, and you do a tuck, and then before you know it, your entire face looks different. So this is somebody who keeps adding more machinery, keeps cyborging themselves until eventually there's no human left.
Which is that wonderful thing about what is the so and so's bike?
Help me out here.
It's a what is it? It's a thought process by which there is a bike that existed in, let's say, 1800, it's famous because it was belonged to a famous person. And in order to keep it going, you've had to swap out every single piece of it. So there isn't actually any piece of it that's part of that original bike.
Okay.
Although you've replaced it with other wheels from 1800 bikes, or other
right.
seats from 1800 bikes, or anything else, it's no longer the same bike, but it is.
What do you call that?
And there's a word for there's a thing to describe that.
I don't know the thing, but that's like the human body, because they say, the cells are replenished every 7 years, so you're not yourself, decades later that you were. So you're like a completely new replenishment or something. So the only thing that sort of seems to persist is your consciousness or whatever. So that's kind of an interesting idea. Yeah, can you find out what that is? That would be
trying.
That would be good.
I'm trying. Oh God.
I'm actually I'm actually
would
thinking.
you even look that up with?
Okay, you can.
Because I searched for keep upgrading something. Does it stay the original thing? And the most thing I got was Citizens Advice UK viewing and updating your pre-settled or settled status in the UK. Then my second thing is what happens if you don't upgrade to Windows 10? Well, you're happier. For starting.
Okay, so that is actually it is like an upgrade. Actually, I was thinking of a tagline from that Mary Trump book, which is too much and never enough. It's sort of this idea of you keep improving, like you were saying about the bicycle, but you never arrive at the perfection.
That's it.
Yeah,
it's a thought experiment. It's the ship of Theseus.
The ship of Theseus. Oh my God!
In the metaphysics of identity, the ship of Theseus is a thought experiment that raises the question of whether an object that has had all its components replaced remains fundamentally the same object. And this was discussed by Heraclitus and Plato in 500 BC. So the whole point is, it's supposed that the Argo, I think that was the name of the ship, sailed by Theseus in a great battle, was kept in a harbor as a museum piece. But as the years went by, some of the original wooden parts began to rot and were replaced. And then after a century or so, every part had been replaced. So the question then is the restored ship still the same object as the original?
Okay. So let's see. How can we encapsulate that? Maybe the tagline could be something like, this is getting a bit flowery, I know, but am I who I was? Or something of that nature.
Who am I?
Who am I?
Who am I? Isn't that more...
Oh, you're so down to earth, man. Okay. Who am I?
All right, you carry on, man.
You just put
you
it
come up with your.
You put it
you
so
come
simply.
up with your 26-word.
I know.
thing.
I come up with my overly complicated, gazillions of moving parts. What is that about? Just who am I? Or who am I really? How about that? That adds a little.
Okay, yeah. Keep
that adds.
adding, yeah.
Who am I really? Okay.
So why did I think it was a bike? The bike of Theseus? Why did I think of bike?
Let's see. So she could be the bot of Theseus. Theseus's bot.
Yeah, no one know what that is. But anyway, the point is, so logline, can you upgrade too far?
Can you upgrade multiple lives to the point of...
No, because too far gives you that tension of what happens if you keep upgrading. There's a tension built into that. So we could phrase it differently, but do you see what I'm trying to get at? Can you upgrade too far indicates danger.
Okay. Explain, who am I really? Can you upgrade too far? So let's see. It's like soul shopping. Soul shopping in the 21st century.
I mean, can your soul survive? Is sort of the to me was the question. Right. At what point does your...
And can your soul survive? Oh, can you upgrade to VAR? And can you survive? So I'm just going to say soul shopping for now. Okay, that's kind of an interesting concept. All right, I'm going to put a pin in that for now. We can come back to it. We're going to do the next one. We're going to give ourselves, again, maybe that was pretty fun. Give ourselves 5 minutes. God, I feel like we kind of rushed that one. Okay, so here we are. Yes. What are these people doing? And who is Charlie, and what is this chocolate factory all about? I'm going to give myself some more stickies here.
Well, all right. To me, it looks like Andy Warhol. It's a sort of a satire on Andy Warhol and his factory, the plastic factory, wasn't it?
Oh, okay. Andy Warhol was the factory, wasn't it?
Because he kind of looks like Andy Warhol with the sunglasses and the...
So Andy Warhol lives. He's kind of stuck in some kind of virtual reality nightmare. Is everyone kind of wandering around and lost in VR?
Instead of his hair going gray, it's gone black.
Well, this is almost like the top hat. This is like steampunk. So it's so we have streampunk. That would be an interesting idea. But anyway, streampunk. My spelling error could be made into a thing.
It sure could.
Yeah, so like streampunk celebrity. So we have a streampunk celebrity who's like somehow they either they are the reincarnation of Andy Warhol or they inhabit Andy Warhol. Maybe they're a virtual Andy Warhol. This is a sort of virtual Andy Warhol. I see chocolate factory, and is that a euphemism for something? I mean, chocolate factory. What is chocolate?
Chocolate is another word, I believe, for marijuana.
Oh, is that right? So Mary Jane.
So then we're getting into all different sort of stuff.
Right. Well, it could be the sort of the future equivalent of Mary Jane. So he is. They're making candy. They're making brain candy. Okay, so brain candy. Andy Warhol's factory, streampunk celebrity, Andy Warhol. Let's see. So the title we know that it's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I don't need to put the type, but the tagline is something about this. I don't know. Could be like this brain candy will blow your mind or something, and we can work with that.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah.
This brain candy will blow your mind. Okay, so then the log line is about let's just try this. Streampunk celebrity virtual. I like how it's like virtual Andy Warhol, not the real. You know how they have like real so and so on Twitter?
Yeah.
But the fake Warhol? Okay, maybe it's like fake Warhol is their name. Runs a VR mind meld factory. I don't know.
Oh, gosh.
And actually, the factory is just a euphemism for something. So it's a VR mind meld armchair tourist experience or an armchair tour. Let's see.
If it's Warhol, tourism. It'd be art, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah. So it's
can you survive being in this art installation?
So it's like an art installation sort of gladiator thing.
Well, no, it's just that this in this world, art is lethal.
Okay, runs a VR mind meld art installation maze, where some.
No, don't modify it. Art is lethal.
Art is art is legal. Art is illegal.
No, art is lethal.
Okay, art is lethal. Okay.
So runs VR mind meld art installation maze where art is lethal.
Where art is lethal. All right, and we have 29 seconds, and we did it. Okay, so that's good. I like that one. All right, yes. This brain candy will blow your mind. Streampunk celebrity fake Warhol runs a VR mind meld art installation maze where art is lethal. Nice. Okay.
Come on. Imagine the Mona Lisa stepping out of the frame to kill you. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that look of that little smile on her face.
That little smile on her face, so she's now an assassin.
We knew she was up to something.
Yeah.
Well, look below the frame. That's all I have to say about that. what we can't see is relevant here.
Right.
All right, so we're going to give ourselves 5 minutes for the next one.
All
Okay,
right.
the clock is ticking, and that's what we got. I think this is clearly a black swan event. We've been talking about these a lot lately. So, this is
But it's
the unknown unknown.
Black Swam.
Right.
Swam. Black Swam.
Oh, yeah.
It's not
So-
swan.
So,
So it's Black Swam.
somebody could not... She can't
So
swim
it was trying to protect themselves from
from some kind of...
being
like
sued.
like we're not doing.
Okay. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's true. All right, but we're going with Black Swan instead of Black Swam.
We could. I mean, I was thinking when I saw this that, this is like the person, could be a partner, could be a girlfriend, could be a boyfriend, I don't want to be genderist here, but it's somebody that comes into your life and turns everything upside down because they are the unknown unknown. There's someone I knew who hired this person, and everything they touched turned to crap. It was a cascading effect of things that, and it boggled the mind how bad it got in such a short time. They're like a whirlwind of disaster, and I think we know people like that in politics. But I wonder if this is what. Well, also we got this interesting sort of cracked. There's two sides of this face here. So, the person who looks normal on the outside, but on the inside, oh my lord.
Amazingly, neither of them look like Natalie Portman.
It's like a Russian pole dancer and and cabaret dancer by night.
Okay, so the cracked thing to me, you might think it's an injury or has this thing been brought about by an accident? By is that what's making this other personality or persona or individual? Is it? I would have gone from looking at this image alone. Is it an actress who is being consumed by the role that she's playing?
Mm-hmm. Well, in a way, that is the original Black Swan, isn't it? We got to be careful. You got to be careful there, because this is Black Swam.
Could it be a parallel world, a fairy world?
Oh, I see. Parallel. Oh, this is like this is like Oberon and Tatiana, is it? Oh, good dear, my Shakespeare is a bit rusty.
Titania, yes.
Fairy world.
Oberon and Titania. Yeah.
I like the parallel world concept. Parallel universe. Sort of like somebody who is. This is like day and night. This is kind of like the light and dark.
It's true.
We've got.
You'd have certainly in the Renaissance, you had the idea of changelings, which were babies that were replaced by fairy children.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
So the children were abducted and they were replaced by these fairies. And this is when there was kind of the feeling that somehow the net between the two worlds was fraying, and that you could occasionally see it. There's a famous passage in the Mabinogion, which is a Welsh mythological treatise, where there's a beautiful description of you see a tree in the distance and exactly half of it is on fire. That's the half in the fairy world, as opposed to the mundane half, which is ours.
Okay, so I like the changeling, baby changeling, kind of baby. The fairy is me. What do we say here? What is our tagline for Black Swam? I didn't drown as intended.
Yeah. I'm not me.
I am not myself.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I'm not myself.
I'm feeling a little peculiar.
Yes.
It doesn't quite have the same.
let's see. So she's a baby changeling. So we're running out of time here. So this is a baby changeling.
Well, it's an adult discovers they were swapped by fairies at birth. An adult discovers they're actually a changeling. A fairy child swapped.
Changeling. Fairy
and
child.
Something about, does she claim her birthright, or it or he or they claim their birthright?
Okay. All right. We'll come back to that. And that's Black Swam. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, okay. I'm not quite sure, but that's good for now. All right, let's go to this next one. We're going to give ourselves 5 minutes, and this is what we have to deal with. The bicycle thief. So I think that says it all. Someone who steals bicycles. But is it? Is it really about bicycles?
Was it about a bicycle that steals things? That's what I think it's about.
Or the bicycle kidnaps its rider and takes them onto adventures they did not. Okay.
Yeah.
A bicycle that kidnaps its rider.
Souls.
Let's see. Oh yeah. So the tagline is it'll take you on the ride of your life or something.
There you go. There's a wonderful Flann. I don't know if you've read any Flann O'Brien.
Oh, I haven't, but I've heard great things. Yeah.
And he does a whole chapter on why Irish people are slowly turning into bicycles.
And what is he? And how does he do that?
Well, it's because everyone rides bicycles. So because of your shaking of your atoms.
Oh, I see.
Every time you ride on a bike and it's jumping up and down, you're swapping atoms with the bike.
Oh, funny.
Yeah. And his idea was eventually it swaps places, so you are now trapped in this bicycle.
So, okay, so it could be more poetic or literal, but I think what we're leaning towards is this idea that you are irrevocably changed by the bicycle. And it could be that you are metaphysically changed, or it could be that you are partically changed. But if it's a sort of metaphysical thing, it could be that that when you ride this bicycle, it purposely, it's like a Deus Ex Machina. This thing purposely takes you out of your current life into something entirely different, and it steals. Well, it's the thief is that it steals what you had. Like you can never return to what you were before, because this thing.
But it's actually a transformational.
Yeah, transformative. Yeah, okay. Metaphysical journey. That's like the art. It's like motorcycle, the Zen and the Art of Motorcycles or something. This is the sort of more literal version of this thing. And we see that, and there's a joy. I just got a bicycle recently. It's been a while, and it's kind of fun. It gets you out there. You feel like the city is yours again, because you can kind of go anywhere and do anything. And something, I mean, as exhausting as it is, it's somehow propelling yourself is very satisfying. Like you are taking some agency. So
I wouldn't cycle in London.
So I'd probably die if I cycled in London. In fact, I almost did a long time ago. But so this sort of the sense of agency, adventure. These are things that I think are associated with bicycles in a way, and it's a very simple mechanism. So we've got a bicycle thief. It'll take on the ride of your life. So we can that's kind of working nicely. So what is our log line here? Once on, you'll never get off.
You'll never get off. I mean, I think that, so make that the tagline, and then the log line might be, it'll take you on the ride of your life.
Okay.
This bicycle will take you on the ride of your life.
Let's see. I don't know. I'm going to put in a little. I mean, this is kludgy, but I'm just going to remind ourselves of this sort of transformative adventure. This is sort of the kind of theme here. So we did that in less than 5 minutes. That's pretty cool. All right, so let's just spend 5 minutes kind of perusing what we've done here and see if this is how we want to kind of leave it, or if we can kind of do anything more to this.
Well, okay, so can you upgrade too far, and can your survive soul shopping? Is it can you survive, or can your soul survive?
Okay.
And I don't know if it's soul shopping, because it's not about swapping out your soul. It's can your soul survive?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could have someone who's soul shopping because they want to swap who they are, but then that's death, right?
Well, is that okay? So, can you upgrade too far and lose your soul, or do you like the soul survive? A soul survive is a nice alliteration.
No, lose your soul sounds good.
Okay.
Sounds good.
And this actually sounds more like a tagline, but upgrade too far and you'll lose, and you can lose your soul or something. But this is interesting. So let's think of. I like how this is kind of shaping up, because it went in a few directions, but this idea of never achieving perfection is interesting to me, and because I feel like it's a very topical thing. People are very anxious about themselves in increasing numbers, and I heard some statistic that in South Korea, the percentage of women who've done some kind of plastic surgery, it might be as simple as something, changing the eyelids or something else, but the percentage is huge, and I don't remember what it was, but when you heard it, you're like, what? It was almost like 1 in 3 or something like that, and so when a culture decides that is necessary for obtaining success or better outcome in life or whatnot, it's very telling, I think, about some kind of pressure, and if it's easy to do and inexpensive, more and more people will feel inclined to do it. So this to me then is an interesting image, because it is someone who I think has clearly gone too far. that they're losing their humanity. So it is a kind of a question of loss of humanity, I guess, because you keep pushing, going, tweaking. Let's see, 1 tweak away from perfection. What about that for like a tagline? Does that work? Let me just have a look at that.
Sure.
1 tweak away from perfection. Or always 1 tweak away from perfection. That's sort of like the too much and never enough. I kind of think that's cool, yeah. And then of course, when we talk about, the X and whatnot, this is okay. So this image becomes nice because not only has she pushed it so far that she's barely human, but now she might be considering becoming a man and changing entirely in terms of gender and whatnot. So it's like really, we're doing this now, right? In everyday life, we're kind of exploring the boundaries of gender and various things, and this is really making it quite explicit, because now swapping out sort of certain things is much easier. So that's very interesting. Okay, I like that. I think that one has gotten better. What about the others? I'm intrigued about the thought. We didn't really dive into factory, but I'm sort of thinking about what is a factory, because there's obviously a sort of mass production of something, but isn't it trying to produce something uniform in a way, in quantity? And you have this sort of art factory, which I think maybe that was part of Andy Warhol's kind of sense of humor, that a factory making art is really, really kind of a paradox, and that was funny to him. Of course, he did very well from doing that. But so, are we the chocolate? I mean, it sounds like slavery. Oh dear. But I mean, are we the chocolate? Are we the chocolate in this factory? That we're Charlie in the chocolate factory? That human beings are somehow the chocolate. We are the art. We are the installation. Okay, so we've run out of time, but I'm just going to sort of say we are the installation. Or are we the installation? Okay, are we the installation? That's kind of intriguing. Anything else? I mean, Black Swam, it kind of fizzled a little bit, but we did our best. Maybe we just didn't feel terribly inspired by the imagery. Bicycle Thief, I like where that went.
So do I.
It's interesting.
Wasn't there a movie called The White Rolls Royce or something?
Oh, I don't know.
Which was episodic. It was different people who'd had this white Rolls Royce throughout its life, and it showed the sort of ways in which I guess it changed their lives.
You know, that's a theme that also appeared, isn't it, in the Red Balloon? You know, and the white Rolls Royce.
Yellow Rolls Royce. God,
yellow. Okay, yellow Rolls Royce. There's a product plug. Thank you, Rolls Royce. We would love to have your support. The Red Balloon, yellow Rolls Royce. Okay, so these are, and I think we're trying to capture that this is a story where something enters your life, changes it forever, and then moves on to someone else. So the bicycle is never yours to keep. Right? Bicycle is never yours to keep. Once it's accomplished its mission, it moves on. Okay. Or you choose who to give the bicycle to. I like that, you know. Yes, you must choose the next rider. You sort of give it to someone knowingly. Okay. All right, cool. We did that pretty fast, and I'm pleased with the results there. I don't know. We can try this again. This one's slightly more involved because we don't actually have titles or anything. We can look at images. We might not make it through all of them, but that's okay. Because I just, want to keep it to an hour because I feel like we get a little punch drunk when we get past an hour. So we got like 20. Let's give ourselves 25 minutes. So in fact, I'm just going to give ourselves a 25-minute timer. Well, yeah, so that we kind of keep to that. So let's see how far we get. These are supposed to be new titles, right? So we get some poster artwork, and we're like, okay. So what is that? What is the title of that? What is the tagline of that? What are we doing with that? It's interesting that it's kind of downward facing. It's not like a power. It's like a down under. Okay.
A flesh-eating bug.
Say that again.
Flesh-eating bug.
Flesh-eating bug.
The flesh-eating parasite, whatever it's called.
Okay. Let's say parasite. So that's okay. We're just going to throw out ideas here, and then we can work on them.
A doll repair shop.
Oh, doll repair shop. Right. Okay. Oops. I don't want that shape. And the clock is ticking, guys. Don't give me weird shapes. Doll repair shop. That could be such a creepy set, wouldn't it?
It could be.
The guy who works in the doll repair shop.
It could be lovely. It could be.
Oh, I see.
What happens to your toys when they break? There's only one person. There is the toy repair person who fixes them.
So this is like Toy Story, but another.
This would be like a little kid thing about I have to find the guy who's going to repair my toys, and they find the person.
Toy repair man. I was thinking this.
It's creepy.
Yeah, it could be creepy. I actually thinking this is like prosthetic.
Okay.
It's like, wasn't there like a film like The Hand or something? And this is the prosthetic, that
Jesus.
That has a life all of its own. Once you use the prosthetic, it's like the change. This is another transformative.
Yeah, so it starts to take over.
And that's why it's kind of a little melted. It's like it's not quite perfect. Something's a bit odd about this prosthetic. It has its own soul. a mind of its own.
Wow.
Flesh-eating parasite.
Wow. I mean, that's great because it deals with, there's your title, Phantom Limb.
Oh, okay. Phantom Limb. Oh, nice. I knew you'd do it. There you are, Toby. There you are. It's like you're title master. Phantom Limb. So you never...
but, okay, I like that. The hardest thing about, because you've got, of course, because you'd want to do it very sympathetically about the travails of a vet, a military vet as opposed to animal vet, who has to deal with his newfound injuries, and there's this prosthetic that he already doesn't want to use, and then he begins to think it's, when he begins to say it's doing things without him controlling it, everyone's dismissive of that.
Okay, so we got a war veteran kind of facing a long road to recovery, realizes that his new arm is a mind of its own. I don't know, we can work on that, but that's sort of the gist of it. That's cool.
Okay.
And give me a hand. Let's see. No, we can't. Sorry, the puns.
Armless. It's armless.
Oh. It's not armless.
Armed and dangerous.
Armed and dangerous, yes. Lend me your hand. Let's see. The tagline, I think, is about, so it's about the Phantom Limb. It's about it's sort of like some things cannot be replaced, or let's see.
But then are we being psychological about it? And is the whole point you don't know if it's real, in the sense that is he lashing out at people?
Right. So actually, this is good because PTSD is the issue, right? So if you're in war, PTSD, and it's something about the PTSD. So is it the Phantom Limb? The Phantom Limb has memory, right? Mm-hmm. Or is it independent, right? So this is an interesting concept. So what is in his mind? What is real? What is something from the past coming to the present? I like all that.
Veterans, does the war ever stop?
Okay. Right. The war never ended. Could be the war inside, but anyway, the war never ended. Let's see. Okay. That's kind of cool. All right, let's put a pin in that. Let's look at this one. I mean, this is just snake face. What's going on here? This is like this is a tattoo, or this is their inner self, or this is a warning, a cautionary tale to. It's like a bully. I don't know. What about "Don't tread on me" is what they're saying here, right? The sort of freedom.
That's right. That's
They
right.
say, "Don't tread on me." And then we have the kind of libertarians.
To me, for some reason, it looks like I think it's partially because that's a very old-fashioned hairstyle. It looks to me like that's a picture from the 40s or 50s.
Is this a ventriloquist dummy that has something inside that's dangerous?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that does sound very like our arm one, though.
Yeah, hiding something.
But I wonder if he's a spy of some sort, if that's why there's no face.
Oh, yeah, okay. Spy.
His code name is Snake.
Codename Cobra.
There you go.
Codename
And it's a World
Cobra.
War II spy film.
Well, this is
about a German spy in America.
German spy in America. Well, I mean, everything's all the rage here with Chinese industrial espionage,
Okay.
Could there be something about the triad here? Because they use snakes, don't they, as their sort of... let's see, triad, industrial, espionage. They're sort of... Anyway, I don't want to get too political about it, but it's this idea that, so that someone... Oh, I like how this person on the outside looks very vanilla, right? Harmless. But on the inside, there's something devious, scary, dangerous. So that sort of spy or, where would you see a face like this? A sort of government. It's not a strong, looking image. Okay, that one I think we have to take a pause on. Let's see. Maybe we'll come back to it and think of something, but it just didn't really spark a lot of oomph there. So let's try this one.
All right.
So that's an old kind of He-Man image. What is the man doing? He's in his boxers or something. It's a murder mystery. Okay. These are old. These women have all disappeared. They're all ghosts or something. Like what did he do? He can't get a good night's sleep because there's all these.
It feels like
girls.
It feels like the Telltale Heart, doesn't it? That here's someone who's plagued by women he's killed.
Plagued by women he's killed. So this is a dirty conscience. So he's not a good psychopath if he has a dirty conscience, No. Because good psychopaths don't give a crap about anybody.
True.
So he's maybe he's the investigator. So maybe he's the good guy. And maybe it's not death. It says murder mystery, but relationships that he's killed.
Okay, that's a serial womanizer, forced to see the world through the eyes of all the women he's seduced.
Okay, there we go. I like that. It's not a serial killer, a serial womanizer. This is a murder mystery, serial womanizer, forced to see the world through the eyes of his conquests. So the title is that's going to be something with one night stand, some kind of play on that, maybe.
Yeah.
Forever, something, a one night stand that lasts forever.
The pickup artist, the wingman.
Oh, I see. The wing, like the wing. All right, maybe he's the wingman, and he thinks, it's not my problem. I'm just helping out a friend. But really, they're all disappearing. Oh, he's the wingman to the girls that disappeared. Oh, he's the wingman to the serial. I was a wingman to a serial killer. Wingman to a serial womanizer is forced to confront. Is forced to see the world through the eyes of the victims. Okay. Or something.
But it doesn't say anything there about they're killed.
Right. Okay.
Wingman to a serial womanizer
is haunted.
Yes, but it's kind of starts to wonder whether Wingman to a serial killer starts to wonder whether
whatever happened to Baby Jane. Wingman to a serial womanizer starts to wonder. Where
Wingman to a serial womanizer has to investigate his friend after women start disappearing, after his dates after his conquests start disappearing.
Okay, I'll just leave it there. The dates disappear. We get the idea. So the title is The Wingman. Oh, that's great. The Wingman. So we just call it, let's say, a friend
Yes.
to a serial womanizer.
Has to investigate his friend. We can't have that.
Let's see, a friend to a
Friend to
serial
serial
has to investigate
womanizer.
why.
Yeah.
Let's investigate the disappearance
Nice.
of the women he helped set up,
Nice.
or something. There we go.
Yeah. That's nice. Okay.
Oh, okay, that's kind of cool, kind of creepy. All right, let's see what we get. What happens here? Oh dear. Well, the first thing that comes to my mind is lost children. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
And
First thing's come to my mind is children's identity on the web. I don't know, that sometimes they have to black out bits so the kids can't be identified. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say that.
well, yeah. I mean, do you remember? I mean, this is taking into horrible territory, but do you remember? Is it Jamie Bulger? What was it? What was the name of the?
Yes.
And
that was the kid who was killed.
and he had to be given a new identity and everything.
Yes, after someone outed his identity.
Yeah.
Child killers.
I'm also thinking this is child disappearance. That's a horrible thought, but there's a child disappearance. It's also like orphans. Actually, it's kind of an interesting title. If it's just The Orphans. I mean, let me just put that there for a moment to say what happened. If that's the title, what is this about? These are like children that, for some reason, have had their identities erased.
So kids who discover that they were abducted
I see.
and that their new parents were the abductors.
Okay. Were abducted by their parents.
Yeah.
This is also kind of, when you take it out of the territory of the creepy, well, it is always creepy, but I'm saying if it's like a state-sanctioned thing, what does that mean, right? When they build like legends and things for, I'm just going to put in by the state. There's some purpose to this. The orphans. So the tagline is about somebody not being who they say they are. And also this idea that you may not really know that you are not you. That's kind of a creepy thought. In this particular picture, we've got two of them. So it's like a brother and sister, or two unrelated, and they were... So it's like happy families. I was going to put happy families keep stay together no matter what. I don't know. Just trying to think of something to put a placeholder in there. The orphans. Happy families are something about they can be made.
There, I fixed that one.
Thank you. Oh god, a snake ate my face.
Tagline and a log line can all be the same.
This is like snakes on a plane.
Yeah.
Oh god, a snake ate my face.
Oh god, a snake ate my face. Oh god, a snake ate my face.
Well done.
Thanks.
Thank you for clearing that one up. Let's see. Happy families can be made to stay together. Let's see. I'm thinking about something about they're not being born; they can be made.
Okay, that is interesting.
Happy families are made, not born, or something.
Now we're getting into sort of genetic.
Yeah. Happy families are not an accident.
I mean, you could call it happy families.
Okay. Happy families. Let's try that. Tagline is, I like the sort of genetic, yeah.
Happy families are made born. So the log line then would be, and it looks to me like those two kids are rejects.
I see.
So it could be orphans. It could be two kids are reject. Two manufactured kids are rejected by their parents for not being perfect. Returned by their parents for not being perfect. So it's what happens to kids within their warranty who get returned.
Well, there we go. Okay, that's starting to shape up. Happy families. Tagline I put there is no room for error. Two manufactured children are returned by their parents for not being perfect and still under warranty. Who are, sorry, I'm going to change that sentence construction. Who are still under warranty are returned by their parents for not being perfect. Good. All right. Well, we did all of that in an hour. I'd say that's pretty darn good. You know, we got.
I agree.
We've got these. Now we've got these, and I think we could revisit them in future and see if they've got any new insights. But I love this. Great. What I'm gonna do probably is sort of write up a little. I'll keep the blurbs, but I'm gonna write a little bit below them for sort of some other alternatives some alt versions that we sort of conceived of. Because I think that's good for the future. So yeah, I think this visual kind of cover jam approach is sort of interesting.
It is. It is. I mean, the faces I make when the image is first unveiled, from what all of them except for "Oh God, a snake ate my face," we came up with some good stuff.
Yeah, and I am sorry. Apologies if I've told this story before, but you know, for the sake of the recording. This idea was sort of handed to me in a way by this colleague of mine I worked with, 20 some odd years ago. And what it was is he was telling me about this Pulp Fiction publisher that he worked for. And he said that they did exactly what I said in the kind of intro, that they would produce these glossy 4-print process color photo covers, but that they didn't want to have dead space. So they had their artist just knock up covers. So the cover already had a title on it, it had the artwork, and it may have a tagline. So they just did that. And then they gave this colleague of mine 5 of these covers, and they said, write 5 novels in 5 weeks. So he literally had a week to write a novel to each cover. And wow. He said it was just exhausting, right? After doing that, you'd collapse for a couple of weeks, and they'd give him some time off before it happened all over again. And so I was just fascinated by that idea that you just get shoved this thing, and it's like, okay, what's the story about? Who are the characters in this and whatnot? And so rather than completely start from that, I thought, let's compose the cover a bit ourselves. Let's try these 2 different versions and see what it's like. So the first version is closer to that idea. Is like, you get this thing, there's a cover art, there's a title. What is the story about? And I thought that went pretty well. And then I also enjoyed coming up with the titles as well on these ones. So they both were quite productive. Thank you, Toby.
My pleasure. Thank you.
That was most excellent.
Yes.
See you soon.
I agree. Thank you.